Just like to, obviously we've got the big Portsmouth game, but I'd like to take a little bit of a step back and talk about last night really, and the great attendance and the great result in the end.
It was a great night. Fantastic to have a big crowd, 3,200. Lots of kids, lots of new supporters. Obviously we had the deal with the voucher for the under-16s. Plus obviously the interest for the Portsmouth game with people wanting to get their match ticket or their match voucher. It was a great atmosphere, and obviously to win the game in the second half the way we did was sent everyone home happy, and it was a memorable night for lots of reasons.
You really had that community feel about it with those ticket vouchers for the under-16s. It was great to sort of get the whole Hereford community behind the team.
It really is, and I love to see young supporters coming in and enjoying themselves, and at full-time whistle I could see them bouncing up and down in the back of the Western and outside the ground. Even before the ground, the big queues of kids excitedly looking forward to getting in the ground, and I'm sure a lot of those children were coming for the first time, and probably some of the adults too. So we're reaching out to the local community and the wider community and saying, come and have a look. We're going to try and put some deals on so that it's a bit easier for people, because obviously it's difficult at the moment with the cost of living crisis. And it certainly worked last night, a fantastic crowd and a great atmosphere. And as I say, we were very happy at the end to win the game and send all those people home happy.
And it's a great build-up for our next home game, which is the big FA Cup game against Portsmouth. So yeah, just sort of want your thoughts on that one.
There's a huge buzz about the whole of the city, I think, and throughout the whole supporter base, because it's certainly our biggest game since we reformed as Hereford FC. There's been great interest in terms of supporters, but also from a commercial angle. Obviously the BBC were here yesterday doing their surveys in terms of where it's all going to sit, and cameras and presenters, and there's a heck of a buzz about the place. And again, to have those people here last night taking part in that sort of build up to the Portsmouth game, I think was important, and I'm sure some of those people would be thinking, well, yes, they've got to be here for that game on a week on Friday, because it's going to be a real big occasion under the lights, as we saw last night. No better place to be than Edgar Street under the lights. I've always said that. And
it's all systems go behind the scenes with the volunteers and all the staff sort of getting the stadium prepared and getting the BBC in. And
yeah, and as we all know, our staff work incredibly hard during the normal course of the season. So when you get a big event like this, our staff, our volunteers, everybody pulls together, and there's some huge work going on behind the scenes. And I think sometimes, unless you are involved in a football club, you probably don't see what goes on, and I can vouch for the amount that everybody's doing to make sure that the ground's ready. The tickets are sold in an orderly manner and in the correct priority way, which they are, and just making sure that the people that need to be looked after, which is our supporters and our volunteers and our staff, are looked after, and that we can have a great occasion. And I think it will be a great occasion, to be honest. I really do.
Yeah, going back to that night, it's going to be brilliant for the club, and not only the club, it's going to be great for the city as a whole to get everyone back in.
Yeah, and I think since we reformed, we know how important the partnerships are with the local community, with the local businesses, and I'm sure last night they'd have seen this with a big crowd here on a Tuesday night. It would have done the local business community well, and the local community itself very well. So it is important that we harbour those relationships with people, with organisations, with businesses. Because I do think that this football club brings in a lot of interest and a lot of tourism to Hereford on match days, and of course we've got this big BBC live match and everybody's talking about it in the football world. It can only be a good thing for Hereford, and I'm delighted for everybody that it's happening.
And it's going to be a great test for Josh's side, going up against a League One, sort of top end of League One side, so it's going to be a real test.
And I know that he'll have them ready for it. I think we saw last night against a very good Fylde side who play very good football, very quick football, pass and move. We contained them, and we managed the game to a point where we could go and win the game. And I know Josh will send those players out against Portsmouth with the right mental attitude, that there's no point in going onto that pitch unless you genuinely think you can get something out of the game. And we will give it everything. We will respect Portsmouth. We're privileged to have them come in here, of course we are, but it's a game of football, 2 teams, huge crowd behind us. We have to believe that we can do something and cause another famous FA Cup shock.
Lovely, thanks for speaking.